Well, hello. I should say good evening because it's like late in the day. I just had a busy day today, but today is Tuesday, September 14th, and we have some birthdays today. Today is Hope Ellison's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hope. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Monica Soto. Today's Monica's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Monica. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. I have another Mimi. Mimi. Yesterday's Mimi. You're not the only Mimi in the world, I think, because I have a different Mimi today. Today's Mimi's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mimi. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Michelle Carson, and the name of her channel is My Everyday Wife Life. Today's Michelle's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Michelle. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Susan Seco, because you spell it like my favorite candy from a childhood is Necco's. It's Necco, and this Secco, so I'm thinking it's Seco. Seco? Yeah. Well, Susan said, enough of my last name. Let's just sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Susan. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. And I only have the channel name, so I don't know what your actual name is, but the name of the channel is S.C.D.V. So I don't know how to sing to you, so I'm just going to sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear channel SCDV. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, let me know what your name is so that next year I can sing to you properly. I think I asked you last year, so maybe you're not even watching me anymore. But I'm still going to sing. It's your birthday. You're out there somewhere. Maybe you'll just tune in on your birthday. Who's to think? Who's to know? Anyway, I had to get up early this morning. You know, the thing is, when I set an alarm clock now to make sure that I'm up in time, I keep waking up during the night because I think I overslept and didn't hear the alarm go off. I'm pretty much, my father never had an alarm clock. I've never known my father to get up from an alarm clock. Yet he was never late for work. And he never had us late for school or anything, because if we said, hey, Dad, can you get me up at 6:17? He'd get you up at 6:17, and he wouldn't set an alarm clock. He'd just know to get up. My Uncle Bob used to say that in the Marines, he could like go into a room and like lay on a pool table and know that he was going to sleep for 17 minutes and sleep for 17 minutes and then wake up and then hoorah, he was on his way. So I'm pretty much like, even when I worked, I always woke up about 3 or 4 minutes before my alarm went off. But at that time, I always knew that I had to get up at the same time, and it was like a habit, so I was always getting up at the same time. So it didn't really bother me to think that I was going to oversleep. But Melissa had an appointment to get her COVID vaccine today. Cindy brought her on Friday. She had an appointment. And she had told the girl that the reason she was bringing her in was to get the COVID shot. And they scheduled the appointment, and Cindy took off a half a day of work, and she brought her to the appointment. And then they said, oh, no, we only do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So she didn't want to use any more time, so I said, well, I bring her. But then her appointment was at 9:20, so in order to get there on time, we had to leave Cindy's house no later than 8:45. 8:50 rather, 8:50, no later than 8:50. So I thought I'll get there about 22 and we'll have plenty of time. Thankfully, I planned ahead because I even told her, I said, I'm going to text you when I'm leaving the house, because I'm about 7 minutes from the house. From my house to her house is about 7 minutes. So I texted her, I'm leaving now. I'll be there in 7 minutes. And she texted back, okay, she'll be ready. And I get there and she wasn't ready. She had to find her shoes or something. So instead of leaving at 8:40, we didn't leave till 8:45. So I thought, well, we still got a leeway of 5 minutes, so until we're fine. So to get to the expressway, you have to pass 2 schools. And I know that the school speed limit is 25. And they have like flashing signs to let you know. They got one of those electronic things that you can see how fast you're going, like when you're approaching the school zone. And I was going, on the way there, I was going like 22, 23 miles an hour. And I picked up Alyssa, and I was coming back. And when I first entered the school zone, I was going 24 miles an hour. So I thought, I'm still fine. It's 25 is the school zone. And then I get to the end of the school zone where the sign is like going into the school zone on this side of the street. So the sign is up here that says 25 miles an hour. And it's got the little flashing thing so you can see how fast you're going. But there's no sign on this side of the street, would it be this way, this side of the street, that tells you that it's now increased to 35. So I just assumed, which was my fault because I don't drive by there during the school hours, that as soon as I pass this 25, because up until you get to that sign coming that way, it's 35. And then you just gotta like, almost like a speed trap, you gotta slam your brakes on so you don't go over the 25. So I saw the sign that said 25, and so I started increasing my speed. Well, everybody knows that when you start increasing your speed, it makes it look like you're going even faster than you really are. I was going faster than 25. I'm not going to say that I wasn't, because I thought I could get up to 35 miles an hour because we were 5 minutes behind my schedule. So I thought, I'm going to put it up to, and just as I passed the street, I see the unmarked police car. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm in the legal zone. You know, I even told Alyssa, I said, well, there's a policeman there. I said, I don't think we're going to have a problem, though. And then sure enough, you see the little lights going off. So I didn't want to go too far because then they say that you're going to be eluding. That happened to me one time when I had first got my license. I was driving down this one street that didn't have any shoulder, no way to pull off or anything like that. And they went to pull me over. And I, instead of stopping and just parking there, I continued on to the next street, which was a little ways. It was, you know, not a really quick jaunt, but it was a little ways. And then I pulled onto the side street and parked my car. He gave me a ticket for eluding. I said, well, I was just trying to get to for your safety. And he says, when you get to see the lights, you're supposed to pull over right then. You're not supposed to keep going. But this was a busy street, and the people were still bringing their kids to school, and so I thought. So I pulled over the best I could, but there's not that much of a shoulder. And I didn't realize until I pulled over, and I didn't see him coming up to my car, and I was getting all my information out. And then all of a sudden I hear him knocking on Alyssa's door, and she was like petrified, or, you know, like on the window. And so, you know, I hit the power button and brought the window down, and, you know, he says, do you know why I pulled you over? And I said, well, I'm assuming I was going too fast. I thought I was out of the school zone, but I know that there's a school zone. I know it's only 25, and I thought I had reached the point where I could go 35. And he said, no, that's still another block up. And I go, well, I didn't know that, but, you know, I said, I'm guilty of going too fast then because I was going faster than 25. And he says, well, where are you off to? Well, he sees Alyssa sitting in the car. I'm not going to tell him I'm bringing her to the doctor's. So I said, well, I was bringing her to school, so that's not a lie. But I was going by way of the doctor's office first. So I said, well, we're on our way to bring her to school. And he said, oh, well, you know, I still need your driver's license and that. And I said, okay. So then he walks back to his car, and he was, you know, about 5 minutes. And I'm thinking, now we're going to be late. I don't like being late for anything. But I thought, well, it was my own fault. So he comes back and he puts the license through the window and that. And he said, you know, Mrs. Carrico, I'm just going to give you a warning. I'm not even going to write out a warning. I'm just going to tell you I'm giving you a warning. He says, let's just slow down a little bit. You know, she could be late for school. And I go, okay, that's true. So I said, thank you so much for not giving me a ticket. And he said, you're welcome. He says, just have a good day. And I said, well, you know what? It started off like I thought this was going to be a really crappy day, but you've made my day feel so much better because there's nice people like you in the world. And then he just looked at me and I says, and I know it sounds like I'm schmoozing, but I'm not. But it was nice of you not to give me a ticket. And he said, yeah, I didn't need to give you a ticket. He said, you know, I checked your record. You don't have any problems. And so I said, okay, thank you. So then we continued on, and we got on the expressway, and I got into the middle lane, and I told Alyssa, I said, well, whatever I do, I can't get pulled over again because I'm sure there's some kind of like signal that they set out, like a bat signal to let them know, look out for this lady, this crazy lady. I just pulled her over and didn't give her a ticket. I said, because you know what, when we come around this corner, there's going to be a police car sitting over there to the side where you're not going to be able to see it. And sure enough, there was a police car there. And she says, really? Yeah, that's pretty cool that you knew that. And I go, yeah, when we get about a mile down, there's going to be another one over on the right. It's going to be state police. Sure enough, state police. I should have known that. Well, if I would have drove this route every day, I would have known that that police car was sitting there. And I probably would have made a point of going slower. But if I would have got a ticket, you know what? I never would complain if I ever got a ticket. Even if it was something that I didn't deserve, I would have deserved a ticket because I was probably going like 7 or 8 miles over the speed limit. But if ever I was following the law, letter to the law, and a policeman pulled me over and gave me a ticket, I would never argue it because I'm thinking, there's many a time I should have got a ticket that I didn't get a ticket. So I would never complain. I've only gotten 2 tickets in my life. Ironically, they both were for speeding. Well, the one was the one where I just told you when I first got my license. I didn't realize that the speed limit was 25. That was on me, and I was going too fast. So I did deserve that ticket. And then the other ticket, I was taking a shortcut where I thought the speed limit was the same as the actual road that I went on, but it wasn't. It was like a speed trap type of a road. And I got pulled over. So I did deserve that ticket too. But those are the only 3 tickets I've ever gotten in my life. So many a time I should have got a ticket. So I can't really complain. So then we continued on, and her appointment was at 9:20, and we pulled into the parking lot at 9:20. So I gave myself even too much time. Because even getting pulled over by the police and even her being late, coming out without her shoes on, still made it in time. So, but talks about taking my plan. I always in the morning before I get out of bed, I figure out what my quotes are going to be for the day and what my theme is going to be for the day. And my theme for today was taking a chance and not letting them get away from me. And I think I was taking a chance that I could get through that school zone a little quicker, and it came back. It didn't really come back to bite me. It just put me in perspective of how I needed to slow down. Like I said, that the particular area where I got pulled over, there's no school crossings. It's not like the kids are crossing the street at that point. There's no bus stops at that point. It was probably a good 3 blocks from the school, but I'm gonna have to look now. I should have made a point to see where that sign is, just so I know. But anyway, I think that with my weight problem, well, it is a weight problem, but my weight, I'm trying to take a chance on trying to change up my eating a little bit. You'll see with my meals today, I had a 2-point dinner. Was it 2 point? No, 4-point dinner. Because I had mostly vegetables and chicken, and it was a good meal, and I had a healthy breakfast. And I think that I'm taking a chance on myself. I'm taking a chance to know that I can do better than I'm doing. And sometimes you just got to get out on that limb and take a risk. And I think that I've found, to me, that if I eat more, which to me is risky behavior, because we've seen my portion sizes and we can see how deadly they can be for me, that sometimes I was a little afraid to take a risk of eating a little bit more than I have in the past. But I think that I'm eating healthier foods. Like for my dinner, I had that piece of chicken and I had an acorn squash, just a small little acorn squash. But I ate the whole squash, and I had a half of a cucumber and a whole tomato. It was so filling. It really was very filling. And I think that I just need to take the chance of changing up my eating a little bit more and realizing I really wanted a baked potato with some butter and some sour cream on it, but I thought, no, live dangerously, take a chance, just have an acorn squash instead. And so I did that. And like I said, you might fail, but you might not. You might succeed. So always take that chance when you can take it, no matter what it is in life. Don't sit on the sidelines. Take it from somebody that's 71 who sat on the sidelines as far as her weight way too long. Way too long. And I'm so proud of seeing people like in their 40s and 50s and even in their early 60s taking charge of their weight and losing it and knowing that they still got so much more time on their hands. And I have the utmost respect for anybody over 70 that's still trying and keeping on, because it gets so slow the older you get. It's just so slow. And it can be so discouraging to think that, like, I've done everything that I could. When I was 20 and I went on a diet, because let's face it, we're on a diet. I know it's a lifestyle. I know it's a mindset. I understand all of that. But anything you eat is considered your diet. So, but like I said, when I was in my 20s, I could lose 5-6 pounds in a week. Which, looking back now, I know it really wasn't weight. It was just sodium. It was just like liquid, because I'd stopped drinking pop or something like that. But it was enough to give me a boost to continue on and lose a couple pounds farther along the line. I never stayed on it that long. The longest one, other than this last one that I joined in 66, or when I was 66 rather, maybe 2 months, 3 months at the top, is the longest I've ever stayed on a plan. And I've been on this plan almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in December. And I'm proud of my accomplishments, and I'm proving to myself that just because I'm older doesn't mean that I can't lose weight. It just means it's a little bit harder. It's a little bit slower. And supposedly, there's this myth going around that the older you get, the less food you require and the less you want to eat. I haven't found that myth to be true in my case. The only myth that I found to be true is the older you get, the less sleep you require. Is that the true thing, or is that you require more sleep? No, I think when you're younger, you always want to sleep. Like when you're babies, if I could just sleep, if I could just sleep. Most older people have a hard time sleeping. I know they say older people get up earlier, but I think that's because they go to bed so early. Most old people go to bed like 9, 10, 11 o'clock. This old person will go to bed before 2, 2:30, 3 o'clock. So I average between 5 and 7 hours of sleep a night, which is more than sufficient for me. I just seem to be fine with that. But when is the myth about not being as hungry when you get older going to hit in with me? Because it hasn't hit yet. So, okay, I'm going to show you my food. I'm going to show you Alyssa at the doctor's. She was so scared. Not scared, nervous about getting her shot, because she just thought it was going to be so bad. And she handled it like a trooper. And so, but I'll show you my food in that. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like button, share it if you think somebody may like to see it. As always, stay safe, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay, I'm eating at a pretty normal time today, so we're just going to have like a combination, I guess it would be called a brunch, a definite brunch. Today is Tuesday, September 15th. My quote is, if you want it bad enough, you will take the risk. Always playing it safe is boring. 0 for my eggs, berries, tea, banana, and tea. 2 points for my bread, for my toast. 3 points for half a tablespoon of butter. 1 point for an ounce of ham, and 4 points for my ounce of provolone. It's 10 points. Still have 13 points left for the rest of the day. Well, here we are waiting for Alyssa's 15 minutes because she got her vaccination.
Yep.
Was it as bad as you thought?
Our doctors do require the
No,
full
she didn't even
vaccination.
realize when she was getting the needle put in. It was that quick.
Yep.
Now we got to do it again in 3 weeks.
So that's fun.
No, COVID and
Yeah.
flu are optional.
Anyway, you gonna go to school today?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's all excited about that. Okay, we're gonna eat our dinner now. Just gonna have some chicken and some squash and tomato and cucumber and this sugar-free pudding and iced tea for dessert, or for dinner rather. It's a 4-point dinner, 0 for my cucumber, my chicken, my acorn squash, the tomato, and the tea. I'm gonna check on the squash. I'm almost positive it's 0 points. I'm just thinking that maybe because it's a heartier vegetable. So I have to check on that. A teaspoon of butter for 2 points on my squash and 2 points for my sugar-free pudding. 4 points. I ended up the day with 16 points. Well, I checked and the acorn squash is 0 points. So I have a hearty dinner ahead of me to eat. But no more talking. I'm hungry. Let's go eat.